Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing The Boys. This is Season 1, Episode 7, The Self-Preservation Society. Whatever that means. In the last episode, we kind of got to, each and every one of these episodes has given us more and more and more about all of the characters and different sides to them, and we're starting to see that, of course, it's not all black and white, and there's a lot of grays. But it really seems like shit is gonna hit the fan soon. So it's all coming to a head, and things are gonna get way worse before they get any better. And this is the second to last episode, the penultimate episode of this season. So kind of expecting things to ramp up for reals in this one. Do you have anything you want to get into beforehand?
No.
Nope. Alrighty. As always, you can catch our full-length reactions on Patreon for The Boys and all the other shows that we are doing as well. The link is down in the description below. Let's jump into this. Come on. Oh, 8 years ago. No shit. Are we gonna actually see what happened to...
What are you doing here?
What the fuck? But he was working for
FBI, CIA?
FBI, CIA or something, right?
This is my husband, Billy.
Great to meet you. Billy Butcher.
Okay, so they've even met before and he still doesn't...
Yes, I did. You saw it?
Or maybe he did.
Thank you.
My better half is wanting my attention, but maybe we could chat tomorrow.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to meet you, pal.
Good to meet you.
He's really good at playing human. Oh, I kind of hope they're not gonna show us,
Stop spying on him.
Okay. All right. They are getting very close.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know that the hotel is a nice thing and not a red flag thing.
I quit my job. I'm sorry. I really should have told you. No red flags.
Yeah. Now we definitely know that when she finds out, she's gonna be hella mad at him because lion. Fuck.
Yeah.
Does he fucking recognize him or not?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Guess it was one of those, I've seen you before, but...
Just need to place you.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Not much crime in Sandusky. I mean, we're not a shithole like Akron. But if something comes up, we'll call.
Oh, he's not gonna have anything to do at all. Whoa. You're having withdrawals, my dude.
This is killing me. Come on. What's going on?
I missed you guys. Just wanted to see your smiling faces. Take a seat, buddy.
It's been a while since they've had a meeting.
Yeah.
Erratic. Unreliable. Downright sloppy. Not you, Noir. You've been great. But the rest of you...
Why? Is this a joke? Why is Hughie up there?
I don't understand.
Oh, this is how she's gonna find out.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Campbell. He and Starlight are going steady.
I mean, why would he do that?
Good question. A-Train, over to you.
I killed his fucking girlfriend.
Oh, boy.
Oh, she must
I
be...
remember now. I've seen him outside of Popclaw's place. He was all in my face.
What if he was helped? Say someone got him in to see Ezekiel and got rid of the deep.
Whoa.
Keep those hands down by your sides, Missy. Sit down. Now.
Fuck.
She obviously fell for this Hugh Campbell guy. He's pumping her for information.
So back off. Leave her alone.
I can't remember the last time Maeve gave a shit gave a shit about anyone, really.
What about the fucking plane?
It's you and me. Remember?
Okay, so is she
Accepting her is, but
manipulating him now?
I just hope you're right about her, for both your sakes. Class dismissed.
she must be throwing up.
Yeah. He still kept a lot of information to himself, Homelander. Like, he didn't show any of the others.
You don't stir. You fold. Like this.
Aww.
Now that's what makes them spongy.
Aww.
That bitch is fucking playing you. And you're too fucking blind to see it.
Right, so better to be loyal to a dead woman who doesn't know and doesn't care. How's that working out for you?
Oof.
Ugh. Good on you for standing up for yourself, Hughie, but this might be the wrong time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much time obsessing about me, am I right? Say hi to baby boy, Dad.
No.
Hey, Trini, listen to me.
Oh shit, if he's burned, then I'm fucked.
Well, I hope she was fucking worth it.
It's not Annie.
She's never seen me before. Not once, not ever. So how did I get burned?
Yep.
Mesmer.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots had to go to Mesmer.
Don't fucking
Hughie.
hurt.
Dad,
Don't hurt Dad.
He's acting strange.
have at least a few cards up your sleeve.
Okay, you mean like this?
I don't know what that shit is.
Are you down? So, you don't mind if I do this?
What? Fuck! What the fuck is wrong with
I have a bigger dose. Dad, time to go.
Not without you.
I'll be right behind you.
I am not leaving you with him, all right? You're just a kid. You're my kid.
Dad! I got this.
The only good thing in my life is gone now. What is this, man? I kill your girlfriend and you kill mine?
I didn't kill your girlfriend.
You used her. The shit that you did was on purpose. So who's worse?
Oh my god, shit!
It would have been stupid to come along.
Oh.
Whoa! That is fucking
Oh God.
I knew you'd vote your conscience, Senator. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, we were right about shit hitting the fan.
3 minutes to go.
That's incredible. Edgar must be thrilled.
Fuck Edgar. We did this, you
yeah.
and me.
We haven't even met this fucking Edgar guy yet. What's gonna...
You first.
I don't look like everyone else.
That's what I'm counting on.
Hmm?
Look at those gills.
That's why he's always wearing it.
Okay.
Oh,
that hurts.
Stop.
Stop.
Come on, it's just my pinky.
No, I said it hurt.
You're being weird, girl.
Are you like getting your fucking gills fingered?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh.
Why isn't he doing anything? He can just forcibly remove her, can't he? Just...
I think he's a bit afraid of what he could.
He's afraid to do anything. Yeah, you're fucked now, dude.
It was Homelander.
You gotta talk to me.
Oh, that's cool. The way they're doing this.
Please, I have a daughter. No.
Oh God.
Whoa, he fucking bashed his skull in.
She was alone with him for 3 hours.
Who the fuck are you?
Oh, that's
My name is
Mallory.
Mallory. I'm the person who can get you payback.
I'll get you out of here. Just hang tight.
This one. Yeah, that's my guy.
And
He's gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Just keeps on fucking backfiring every time he wants to save
Wait.
a creature.
I'm sorry about everything.
No. Don't say sorry. No. Look at you. Standing up for yourself. Jinx.
I don't know what happened with you and Raina, or how that situation got fucked up, but just please call her. Please.
Please do it.
Yeah, here you go.
Is that Edgar?
Are we gonna finally meet the guy? Or not?
Rebecca Butcher had come to her with a completely unprecedented medical condition. She was pregnant with your child.
Fuck.
The baby clawed its way out of her. The blood loss. No one could have survived.
And the baby?
Lived all of 10 seconds. Drowned in its mother's blood.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
What do you want? Forgiveness?
Is he crying?
I'm the world's greatest superhero.
You're my greatest failure.
That's not gonna sit well with him. Fuck. Oh.
Butcher!
Fucking hell, calm down.
No, he called Raina. It's her.
Perhaps.
Right?
I sure fucking hope so. Yeah.
I'm in.
Deputy Director.
Your family's gonna be okay. You have my word.
Thank you.
Finally.
Thank you. Oh. Don't let anything happen to him.
Take care of yourself. All right.
I'm really afraid for the people going out the door now.
No Homelander.
No Homelander. We had a deal. Everyone else is fair game. Do you want this or not?
Oh shit, he doesn't have the... He used the compound V. They had.
No, I
Right?
think they had more. They had more. Hughie said they had more.
Oh shh.
Oh wait, she's gonna be drunk?
And mad. And mad as hell.
Yep. And superpowered.
Watch this.
Hey! Freeze, motherfucker! What you doing? Kill him!
That's not all.
And he goes
He's
out.
gonna be walking out.
Yeah.
How is that son of a bitch still alive?
Piece of soup.
Keep means captain. We believe it's his soup name.
And now we're gonna need soups in the military anyway.
Are you telling me? Yeah. They have a soup terrorist?
That's, yeah, exactly what we talked about in the last one. They were just a little further ahead of the schedule than we thought.
What are you doing?
I'm taking you in.
No, Annie, hold on.
To the cops. At least they'll treat you better than the Seven would.
listen to me.
You are
Listen.
the only thing, Hughie. You are the only thing that I could count.
This isn't about translucent, okay? This is about Compound V.
Compound V.
Something he didn't tell you, huh?
It's this drug.
That's how you got your powers.
It gives the soups their powers.
We're born like this.
Nope.
I'm so sorry. Annie.
Fucking run!
No!
No, don't! No!
I'm so sorry.
Get the fuck away from her!
Hughie, no! Don't run!
Fuck were you thinking coming here?
I didn't ask for your help. Yeah, looked like you had it all under control.
She's bulletproof, right?
Yeah, but that still must have...
Why did you...
Yeah, alright. Now we're set up for the last fucking episode. Alright, things are really getting out of hand now. And there's so much, like, going wrong everywhere, and it's... I know they can't resolve all of this in one episode, in the next one, so yeah, a lot of it is gonna spill over into season 2, so there's gonna be some cliffhangers for sure. Oh, where to start even?
They were found? Our boys were found?
Oh yeah, they were found out, yeah. So yeah, it's this episode just shit started hitting the fan right away. They got found out, and they had to, make sure that their loved ones and their family and everything, they were okay, and that had consequences, as we saw, especially for like Mother's Milk, his wife Monique, not happy about this at all, and I totally understand it. She didn't know that he was doing this. We got Hughie's dad, who thankfully he was just glad to know that his boy was, well, alive, I guess, and he's actually doing something.
Yeah, he's standing up for himself.
He's standing up for himself, and he's just, proud of that. So
yeah,
I just really hope nothing happens to him. We got the CIA involved, at least, and hopefully they got them somewhere safe.
Yeah. And then Raina started antagonizing Stillwell and the whole Vought company.
Yeah, I was enjoying that a lot, because Stillwell is just that smug fucking smile of hers every time, and that was just you could see that she knew that this is not good for us. But then again, how much did she know about what we then saw afterwards with the super terrorist thing and their plan to create supervillains? She might have known that was gonna happen very soon, that they were gonna find out, and that was what she was counting on to be like the nail in the coffin when it comes to getting Supes in the
military.
That was gonna seal that, and maybe that is actually. Because, it kind of forces their hand. It does.
It does.
So,
yeah.
and that's what I meant when we talk about it in the last one. It was strategically actually a really smart decision to do it like that. If you want to force their hand, it's just that's fuck.
Yeah, and I with the way we also talked about, they were creating these super terrorists. Yeah. And I think that Kimiko was definitely also one of them. I think they definitely have different terror cells, I think it's called, all around the globe.
Yeah.
So they can actually handpick the Supes out of these groups and make these supervillains. And now we actually saw that there was not only Kimiko, but they're definitely doing it, and whether it's actually them or it's someone else, we don't know for sure, but I think it must be Vought, because they're the only people with Compound V, right?
Yeah, and they are benefiting from it, because as we just talked about, it is a strategically smart thing to do to get, if they want to get their way. And they most certainly do. So that's a whole other thing that I'm definitely expecting for that storyline to keep continuing
the next
to
one,
the
definitely.
next seasons and go on, because that's a big thing. That's a real big thing that they can't resolve in just one episode.
Yeah.
And
just to continue on with the whole Vought and all that, we actually learn a little bit more about Homelander and his whole past, and One of
Yes.
the first, if not the first, scientists on the whole Compound V thing. I don't know. He was called something with Baum.
Dr. Vogelbaum or something.
Vogelbaum.
And yes, we just looked him up real quick. Vogelbaum, that was the name of the character. Dr. Vogelbaum, or Vogelbaum, if you want to pronounce it the German way. And he was played by John Doman, and we've definitely seen him in other stuff before. But he was, telling Homelander the truth, both about him, and definitely what he thought about his feelings afterwards, about what they did and how they made Homelander, and then also the truth about Becca.
So we know that Homelander was probably made
in the lab,
in the lab, because he was kind of comparing Homelander to a this German retriever that is apparently a crossbreed. Between two.
You can make it like genetically perfect, but if the creature, the person, whatever, it's not raised properly, doesn't have a mother's love, isn't raised by a family, then the result is always gonna be batshit crazy at the end, because that's the most important part. It's how you're raised, or it is very important. It has a big impact. Even though Homelander, he was kind of like, but I turned out great.
Yeah, denial.
In denial. But yeah, the stuff with Becca and what he did to her and the result of that was just so much worse than I could have imagined, actually.
But
they didn't just silence her or anything like that. Well, they kind of did, but like telling her she can't tell anyone. But just... It was tough to watch. It was tough to hear about. And when and if Butcher finds out exactly what happened, he's gonna lose his fucking mind.
But the thing that I actually started wondering about, and it's actually something I've been wondering about for a little while now, is whether whether it was actually rape, because they didn't, when we saw the footage from that night and we were introduced to Mallory, that introduced herself to Butcher. She showed him this footage of her going into the room and leaving clearly
3 hours later.
With a walk of shame. And
I thought that looked like she was horrified. She looked like someone who had just been through a horrible experience.
Well, I don't know, but I just couldn't help but think, what if this was actually consensual?
Okay.
I'm not saying it was.
No.
I was just starting to wonder, what if it actually was consensual? Maybe because, well, of course it's Homelander. We cannot trust Homelander because that guy is a raving psychopath. But there is something about this that felt a bit off to me somehow. Because we were always of that belief that she was raped, but I'm just thinking, what if she was very much seduced and very the reason why she looked so terrified was the her just
thinking about what have I done?
Exactly.
Kind of
it was like what the fuck am I doing kind of thing. We don't know. I'm not saying it's not possible that she didn't get raped.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to wonder.
Sure.
What would happen if it was actually... It would be even more tragical, actually, if it was consensual, if she was seduced.
For him, definitely, because then it doesn't just prove that she went through all this horrible stuff. That will also prove that she was a horrible person. So he was just like, fuck, I didn't even know her. Like, she was even, like, she kept so many secrets from me.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit rash to just jump to the conclusion that she was a horrible person, because everybody can make very... I'm not saying this is not a very severe mistake, but it's still a mistake, and it's very human, and it doesn't...
Yeah.
Well, it's just...
I don't know, it's like he was her employer in some way, and I don't know how many interactions they had, but it's just...
we don't know what happened.
No, sure not.
And I'm just saying, I think it's a little bit rash to just jump to conclusions about stuff we don't know anything about. And I'm just starting to wonder what would happen. What if it was the case, if she was actually seduced, because it can also happen. But it also makes this whole revenge thing that Butcher is on about.
Mm-hmm.
It can actually make it suddenly very. It really shifts the perspective and like the feeling of justice or avenging. It almost it kind of I really think it kind of blurs the lines a lot in grazy areas and stuff.
With Billy.
Yeah, because if it was actually if his mind is set on that they killed her because she was raped. And then suddenly, and he's going through this, if he's going on this crusade because he believes that all of this wrongdoing, and suddenly, if it was another perspective, or if it was another reality, then suddenly maybe it starts to be, maybe he's doing the crusades based on the wrong...
For the wrong reasons?
For the wrong reasons, or the wrong...
Wrong basis?
On the wrong basis, and I just that's what I mean with blurring the lines, because it feels like we're starting to definitely get into some very gray areas, because we don't know what happened, and I'm just starting to wonder how it could affect everything if it was not as it seemed, because we don't know for sure.
Sure, it's it's definitely a possibility. I really don't see it going that way, but it's because that's definitely not how I read that recording or that scene. But I get where you're coming from, and I get that it's interesting to think about that, if because there's been several examples where things are not exactly how it seems, or this person is not exactly how we thought at first, and if we apply it to this situation as well, that might turn out that this situation too was kind of we didn't get the full picture, and they're going to tell us later on. Then that could be an interesting element, like dilemma, especially for the character of Billy, that his whole revenge thing is based on a lie, or something to that extent. But I do, at the moment, certainly believe that she was raped by Homelander. But it's just real iffy to talk about, because that's such a horrible thing to go through for her, at least, even if it was consensual or not. Just death by
being clawed out by a super baby.
Yeah, that the super baby was trying to claw its way out, and then that it drowned in its mother's blood. That's that we're getting to, at least for me, the levels of absurdity where I can't even laugh about it anymore. No, like that's not laugh. Like that's it's so absurd, but that's to the point where it's also
tragic.
So fucking tragic.
It's a tragic absurdity. It's so crazy, it's weird to fathom thing. It's more like it's just so fucking tragic that it's not even absurd any longer. It's just it's so absurd that it's actually tragic.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing.
That's what I meant, was that it's so horrible and it's so over the top that it almost makes me sick. That's the absurdity levels we're getting to here, where it's not enough that an innocent person might have just died. It's just the way that it's like it's overkill. That's almost like it's overkill when you get to stuff like that. And I hope I never get to see something like that again, because that's gonna give me fucking nightmares.
Yeah, and with all this Homelander, he found out a lot of stuff in this one, and also about himself, and he also took it upon himself to tell the rest of the team what was going on, and he just played them all to his advantage, and told Annie about Hughie and not about anyone else. He was just
he was
downright playing on Annie.
He was keeping a lot of that, the information and the stuff he found out. He was keeping a lot of that to himself. But the stuff that he really wanted to get across was then the stuff about Hughie and wanting to prove to the remaining members of the 7, who are now at the moment just 5, that Annie is not to be trusted, or something to that extent. And what am I to do with her? And then Maeve kind of intervened, and I'm not sure he was prepared for that, or he definitely wasn't anticipating her to intervene in such a way, and actually standing up for her.
Yeah.
So those two, as we were hoping, Starlight and Maeve, they are bonding more to the extent that also, like what they were talking about when they were just the two of them, and Annie asked her to make the drink and all that. It's the thing about shielding yourself and cutting yourself off from essentially being a human and having emotions, and when it comes to other people in particular, that you need to, for your own sake and for their sake, just cut all ties and basically just be like a robot. And there is something to that, it is kind of a classical superhero dilemma, this thing about how much do you involve the people you care about, and how many of them, do you cut ties for their sake and for your own sake, or do you still hold on to your humanity, even though you might lose someone you love? But that's an interesting conversation to have, and the one that they had there, at least, because it is a constant struggle, I think, if you are a super powered individual. Not that anyone in this world could know it, but how do I protect the ones that I love, and protect myself? Is it by actually being with them and spending time with them and loving them, and then risking something, and risking that, their health, or do I just cut them out of my life, and in that way I know they're safe, at least? So
and it's of course it's a classical superhero trope, but it's also in general everyone that has enemies.
It is, of course, a very typical dilemma in not only superhero movies, but any kind of movie, really, where there's some sort of protagonist, and it can be any genre. And we've seen it a lot, where this how do I protect those closest to me, kind of deal.
Yeah, and in every, and it can be bent in every sort of situation, and every time you have some sort of enemy, they can use the people close to you.
Yes. If it's your family, or
your loved ones,
friends, a kid. Yeah, it can be anything, really. But let's move on to some more Starlight, but Starlight and Hughie, because it happened, the break that we were anticipating. She found out what was going on.
Yeah.
And she did. We already talked about how, with Homelander kind of
spilling the beans.
And she actually didn't, her reaction when she called him, I was expecting for her to maybe, because in the last scene with her, that was with her and Maeve, and can you make me a drink and all that. So I think I even said it, that I was expecting her to be yelling and maybe being a little bit drunk and just giving him the business. But she actually was extending a hand in just a little bit, come and explain this to me, just you and me here on a bench. And then she probably already had the plan in place, where it was, okay, if he admits this stuff to me, I'm just gonna take him in.
And she even explained that the 7 would be worse for him than the police. And she believed that the Vought would go through the trial, like a court legal trial,
Yeah. They were
Yeah.
gonna go through.
Yeah, with that, and I honestly think she was being a little bit naive, in that regard.
Yeah.
But at least I think she might be right with him going to the cops rather than.
Oh yeah,
being...
it's initially, when you think about it, that is of course the better choice, and she is still who she is. She want to do the right thing. She has a lot of empathy, and she believes in due process, so she probably knows if I just take him to Vought, they're just gonna, from what I've learned so far, almost, they're probably just gonna fucking kill the guy or something worse. So I'll take him to, the police, which is what you normally do when you take a criminal somewhere and you want to put them behind bars and all that. But then the naive part is, if you out him and if you put him somewhere in a situation he can't control, and you now know what he has done, well, he's gonna fucking die. Like, if you just hand him over and give the Seven or the Homelander and Vought any sort of chance to get their hands on him.
Yeah, and I think she genuinely cares about him.
Yeah, of course, she's
and,
hurt.
Yeah, and she really wants to believe the best in him. And of course, I think, even though it's a human thing, really, that the way we take care of ourselves, even though we want to, some people hurt us, we still want to believe that they care about us in some way. And for example, if you ever had an ex partner who hurt you like fucking hell, you really clinging on to this hope that of course they still care about you and they still love you, and you really cling on to the last good part in them and really hope that everything is going to be for the better, or I don't know, that you can help them, or of course this is a very weird situation, I've never tried it myself. But just in the way that when they hurt us, some of us still cling on to the hope that they don't hate us, at least.
Yeah, I think it goes very much hand in hand in a sort of way that the people who can hurt you the most, the people who has the capacity to hurt you the most, are the people you love and the people who love you, because that's, you have an in there, and you can then, if someone you hate says something hurtful to you, that's not gonna be nearly as hurtful as if someone you really like or love then goes around and stabs you in the back or says something because then you didn't see it coming, and you're like, fuck, I fucking trusted you. And I really want to believe that there's some sort of love there, like, and especially in this situation, we know that Hughie likes Annie likes Hughie. It's just because of how fucked up everything is and how their lives got intertwined and what has happened, and couldn't really talk about it, couldn't just be upfront. Maybe they should have been, but they don't want to risk what they have. And we as viewers, we can see all of this, but for these two characters, the way they're acting still makes a lot of sense, but we know that they care about each other.
Yeah.
At least.
But that's the thing with communication, right? Because you can only see your own head, inside your own head, and you only get tidbits from the other part.
Yeah.
And because you don't have like the whole three-dimensional, what are they thinking, what are they saying, like the whole shebang, really.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to piece together everything about a person, because of course we can all have that inner Sakura saying something completely different than we are letting on. That's the funny thing about communication, right? Because of course we can see it from both perspectives, and of course we're not necessarily inside their heads, but we see them in these different situations apart from each other, so we also know that there's different.
We know what's going on, and we've been following them. And even if Hughie explained everything to Annie, and he tried to explain it exactly how it is, and he's being 100% honest and upfront, it's not a guarantee that she's gonna understand it or be able to see it the way he does, because she hasn't gone through it. So communication in that sense, like even if you try to communicate verbally what you're going through, the person you're talking to might not get it because they haven't been through it. So that sort of communication is not even enough at certain times. And like,
but let's say he says everything, tells everything as it is. She would either have to trust his word or not. And that's also a big thing, really, is whether a person is lying or not. Because, she can't know for certain what's going on inside his head, right?
Yeah.
And he could be saying something completely different. And well, of course, we know what...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we know he's telling the truth and being upfront. We know when he's saying that he is telling the truth. But she can only listen to the words and then process them as best as she can, but she still only has her own perception, that like it's her own way of looking at things, and she hasn't been through the same things that he has. So that's what I meant with, even though you try to do your best to like verbally communicate something, you still can't communicate how you felt or what you went through. Like, there are some things you can't communicate after the fact. Like, you can try to explain someone in as much detail as you possibly can about your life, what you've been through, your point of view. But if they haven't been through it, and they haven't even been through something close to it or something, then they can't relate to it, and then they will never understand it. So even like...
Well, they might be able to understand it, and they might actually
be able
to
of course,
put themselves in your place. But
yes, but there's that risk, at least.
Yeah, and what I was just trying to say is that even if you explain everything, you still can't not necessarily trust every word you say. That is true, and that's how you feel, and that's what you're going through. So you can be the most empathetic person in the world, but if you don't have that trust, you can basically say anything, really.
And for us especially, we know what Hughie has been through, and we know what Annie has been through, so we know when they're telling the truth or not, and when they're being sincere, and if they actually do like each other, which they do, and who's using who, and we know how things are, but they haven't gone through the same stuff, of course. So they're even though Hughie, he might have told her everything, and it might have been the truth, and we might have been like, yeah, of course it's the truth, but we know because we've been following you. Annie couldn't know because she hasn't gone through it. So that's just, yeah, even though you try to communicate it the best way you can verbally, it's still not a guarantee that the other person is gonna, be able to understand it, or accept it, at least. And then there's another angle into that, with trust. How much do they trust each other? Because you can still, of course, have someone explain to you what they're going through, and even though you haven't gone through the same thing, and you might not be able to actually really understand it, then if you trust someone and they tell you something, then like, if you trust them enough, then you should be able to at least accept what they're trying to tell you, and then try to bridge the gap of miscommunication. And it is an iffy situation with those two, and when it comes to them communicating what they've been going through, and if they can trust each other and all that, because we've been following Hughie, and we've been following Annie, and we know what they've gone through. We know when they're telling the truth and all that. But Annie, of course, can't know if Hughie is actually telling the truth, or if he just did all this to get to A-Train, because of what happened to Robin. And yeah, that's a whole big question of miscommunication there, or communication lack thereof, where you can try your absolute best to explain something verbally, but the other person that you're talking to, they might not completely understand it or accept it, because they haven't been through the same thing, or they haven't seen things from that perspective that you're coming from. But hopefully, and this is another angle as well, that like if those two people then trust each other enough, then even though they are different and see things from different perspectives, then they can trust that the other person isn't lying, or is not trying to, or only wants the best, or something like that. Where in this case, Annie, if she really trusted Hughie, she would know that he's not trying to do this to take advantage of her or something. I think that her reaction was more of "I'm really hurt" kind of thing, because she really wanted to trust him, but ultimately feels betrayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with miscommunication. You have like these many different dimensions in the way we communicate. We have, of course, as you said, the trust thing, and we also have the empathy, or like the perspective thing. Because of course you can empathize, all you want, but if you don't have the trust, because that could be like if you're not a very trusted person, or if it seems too good to be true what the person is saying, or something like that. It's, there can be many different reasons why these different dimensions are not overlapping, or yeah,
exactly,
intertwining perfectly. So yeah, that's the whole thing with miscommunication. And the only thing, because it feels like she was kind of trusting him, but at least, of course, there's a lot more, and I don't think she was fully convinced about anything that happened, or she didn't exactly know about what was going on or whatever. She was not. Yeah, well,
hasn't made up her mind yet. I think she's not even trusting her. She didn't even
have to have the time to make up her mind, because then she just gunned down by fucking Butcher. And
fuck shit. I was really afraid that was something almost lethal that happened there.
Yeah, but she was bulletproof.
Well, yeah. That's at least from like how I have interpreted a lot of the superhero powers in this series, is that they're pretty much all bulletproof, or
some of them
invincible in a way. Maybe not A-Train, because holy fuck, that bone went clean through. Sorry, getting ahead of myself here. Sorry.
Yeah, I had a very physical reaction to that.
Yeah, you did. You did.
No, but for reals, I could really feel it turn in my stomach, and that when it got too real. Flying intestines and broken bones, like in a stream of
what happened blood to Translucent on something like that, or
Robin. That was so surreal. I was just somewhat easy to watch, but that whole I really have a thing with bones sticking out of the wrong places, and that was not easy for me. I just wanted to say that I was really disappointed that Hughie ran, because I think now she's really going to feel hurt, and really going to feel betrayed, because he just ran away, and he was not even trying to convince Butcher to stop. He was just running away like a fucking coward.
I was a little bit confused about that. Like, why didn't he put more effort into resolving this situation here and now? Because were the cops on their way or something? Like, what was the time? Like, I know Billy, he was saying that we need to go, we need to move now, but then again, that guy, like, if I was Hughie, I would be like, yeah, sure, you also just fucking shot my girlfriend, so maybe I'm not just gonna do exactly what you're telling me to do, you fucking asshole.
It's really getting to start me to question, almost getting me to question Hughie's actual motives, or if he's completely honest with us.
He's getting corrupted a little bit, or I don't know, because Billy is certainly he's been full on corrupted by everything that's been going on, and we even without going too much into depth here with that whole thing, but what he did to Mesmer, that was very sudden and very violent and very villain behavior. Like, if we're now that we're talking heroes and villains,
that's the thing. We also talked about with him only dealing in absolutes. It's like we're so far out the extremes now.
Yeah.
That we're kind of coming full circle here.
Yeah.
And we have the baddies up here now.
Yeah. And it's both like.
It doesn't matter which side you're on. You're being too extremist, and then.
Yes, because even. Like the Seven, of course, that's what we've been doing through this entire series, is establishing that these larger than world characters, superheroes that are usually portrayed as fucking gods and perfect beings, and they're the good guys and they want to help, and it's all turned upside down in this world. They're actually the bad guys, and then the criminals are trying to stop these crazy superheroes. But now everybody is just getting closer and closer to absolute fucking villain behavior. Yeah. Only Frenchie has gone in the other direction almost. Like from a, wow, this guy seems crazy and kind of, yeah, we've talked about it, crazy type. And then he's very empathetic and all that. And there were some sweet moments in this one as well, with them making pastries and stuff together. That was real sweet.
And I don't, normally I'm not like super into the French language, but I think it's so cute somehow that he has these small French words and he's saying like, putain.
Yeah. He's, yeah. When he's
once again, mon coeur, it's just.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
And yeah, one thing I just when we were talking about that scene that you did not like to look at with A-Train, but there was a little bit in that scene actually that kind of links back or to what we were talking about with Hughie and Starlight and this whole thing about communication and perspectives. And because from where A-Train he was standing, we know like has done a lot of really bad fucking shit, and there's no excuse for being a drug addict especially when it comes to this Compound V and like it was an accident. He did not mean to kill Robin, and well, yes, that's true. We know that it was an accident, but that's, your carelessness is kind of why we don't like you. And then he kind of turned it around, like, but you, Hughie, you went after my fucking girlfriend on purpose. You guys did, like, you tried to hurt me on purpose. I hurt you, yes, but I didn't do it on purpose, at least. Where it's just one of those moments where it's, shifting the perspective a little bit. Over to a character that was maybe more one note, and we've of course gotten this stuff from A-Train before in this season with Popclaw and also a little bit with his brother, that we know there's some sort of a nice guy or a person who at least loves someone and has feelings, and like it's never black and white. It's just what we're getting reminded of all the time. And yeah.
And yeah, well, and of course we can always debate whether whether he actually has a choice. But Starlight also said, Annie also said to Hughie, well, there's always a choice. Because he said he had no choice but to kill Translucent, and she was like, there's always a choice. And then we can, of course, always debate whether it's actually a choice or not. Was it a real choice being kind of pushed into killing his old girlfriend? His own girlfriend, A-Train.
He
killed Popclaw, of course.
Yeah, he did that.
But we can definitely imagine that he was forced into doing it because of Homelander, possibly.
Yeah. There's always... and I hate to do this, but what Annie then was saying to Hughie, like, you always have a choice, even when you're backed up against the corner, and it seems like, well, if you let this translucent asshole go, he's probably gonna hurt your fucking family. He's not gonna let this go, and like, but at least you won't become. So you're standing with, okay, either he's probably gonna go out there and make life even more miserable for me and the people I love, or I can become a murderer. It's not like you want to choose any of these two, but you are backed up in a corner. That's what I mean with Annie and her situation with the Deep, where she also made a choice, even though like she was forced to, in the same vein that Hughie was, to make a horrible decision, or she was forced to make a horrible choose between either, you know, going down on this guy and then hopefully by doing some of these fucking morally horrible, like ambiguous, horrible things, that she can get to a position where she can actually do some good, or she can do the morally right thing in that situation and be like, fuck you, fuck the Seven, I'm out of here. And by the way, I'm gonna tell everyone that you're a sex offender, and that would have had consequences for her in another way. So it's just that whole thing about, yes, you always have a choice, but you always do have to choose something, and there's a reason why people go in certain directions, and if like neither of those two choices are just a clear cut good choice or direction to go, and both of them are kind of then no matter what you do, it's the outcome is gonna be, it's gonna hurt someone, or something's gonna go wrong. So yeah, that's just what I was saying, is she was being a little naive there, but we've kind of established that she was probably very hurt, and and really not thinking clearly. She was just mostly thinking about, how the fuck could you? You were the only person I trusted. I am so backed up against the wall, and I thought you were there with me, and now you're not. Yeah. So you get why she's very single-minded in that regard, right there at that point, because it just fucking happened. And now it feels like we've been talking for an eternity, which we probably have. So if you made it all the way to the end, good job. Do you have anything else? Nope. All right. That's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and we will see you as soon as possible. Bye.
Bye.